Good afternoon, welcome to Le Cordon Bleu Malaysia, Saint Domingue University. So let's introduce myself. I'm Chef Thierry. I'm the pastry bakery chef instructor. And today I will present you a tartlet with chocolate. So we're going to have different types of chocolate, a dark chocolate, 70%, and a chocolate milk, 40%. So today, usually as you can see, this is the way it works. The recipe will be based on what we call basic. We had our program, we have three programs, 3 steps. So we had the basic, intermediate, and superior level. So this recipe today, I will say, is between basic and intermediate. What we're gonna do, so I will, so like I'm in the class, when we start, we always present the recipe first. So this little tartlet, chocolate tartlet, I will add four items. The first one will be the dough. So we're going to make what we call in French a pâte sablée, a sablé dough. After that, this little tartlet, we're going to add a feuilletine, a chocolate feuilletine. Then we will continue to build this tartlet. We're going to add a chocolate ganache cream. And at the end, I will add a nice kernel of chocolate milk mousse, Chantilly, all right? I will start with the sablé. So normally this is what we learn in basic level. So what you need to understand is that all the recipe that we make here are progressive. So you don't need to have experience. You can come and join us at any time. And we'll teach you from A to Z, step by step, all the different recipe, different technique that you need to work. For example, you want to become a chef, or you want to open your own business, and or you want just make for your friend at home. So this is the way we are doing. Okay, so let's start. All right, so I will start first with the pâte sablée. So for this pâte sablée, what's important is the techniques. That means is the way we mix. So I'm going to use what we call rabbin method. So this rabbin method is I would say it's very simple. What we need to do is to mix all the dry items together, mix together with the butter. So if you make by hand, you can use just with your fingertips in a mixing bowl, and then you mix until you make it sandy. If you use the machine, I'm going to need this little machine with the pedal, and then I will add all the dry ingredient into it. So I had 175 grams of flour. Now, of course, it's pastry flour. I will reserve the bread flour for bakery. Okay, after that, 75 grams of icing sugar. Then we're gonna have 35 grams of almond powder or ground almond. And then I'm gonna add butter. So the butter that we use is, this butter comes from France, of course, from Normandy. I'm from the state of Normandy. So this is butter from Normandy, 82% of fat. And then we just add into our mix. Alors the butter should be room temperature and cut into cube. And after that, let's start. I'm gonna mix until I have this fine texture, sandy texture. Once I will have the texture, I'm going to show you. Once I have the texture, after that, I'm going to add the eggs, 35 grams of eggs. So the eggs are here just to combine and to make it as a dough. All right? So why do we do that? And the main technique of doing that, we want the butter to coat the flour. So by doing that, once we're going to bake this dough, this sablé dough, in the oven, it will become very crispy. So that's why when you make pastry, it's always, most of the time, is butter and the dry product, and then at the end, we only had the liquid. So it can be water, today is eggs, sometimes it can be milk or cream. Okay, so let's accelerate a little bit the speed. So if you make by hand, just mix like that. And you can see already, slowly, the butter start to coat the flour. So this is why we have to do this technique. The main reason is because once the butter coats the flour, once we're going to add the liquid cannot go through this little grain of flour. And once we're going to bake this dough, you will see it will become very crispy. 2-3 minutes only until the texture becomes sandy. I start to prepare the eggs and then I will pour 1 shot. I'm going to continue to mix approximately up to 1 minute approximately until I have a smooth dough. And then this dough I will laminate between 2 pieces of parchment paper. Keep for approximately around 15 minutes in a chiller. And after that, I will use a cutter and I will show you how to make the little tartlet. Alright, so I got the perfect texture now. Alright, let's have a look. And it's a very sandy. See? It's very fine. Alright, so at this stage, I double check, no butter, no more butter inside. So I had the eggs 1 shot. And then I will continue to mix for 1 minute. We start to have a nice dough. Alors of course the butter, like I told you, should be room temperature. What I mean by room temperature, that means with air conditioner. If it's 26 or 28 degrees, definitely it does not work. It should be at least a 20 degree, like in our school temperature. Okay, so this is the time that you can see already my dough is joined together, is coming. Alors this is crucial also at this stage. Please do not overmix. If you overmix, then you will, what's going to happen is that the butter will start to go into the flour and then we start to make bread. And after that, if you overmix, that means your dough won't be crunchy anymore. Alright, so you see it's very easy to remake. So this one, basic level. And there is another technique to mix. The other one is the creaming method, but this creaming method takes longer time. All right, as you can see, we had, and this dough is like, this is like a Play-Doh, and it's just nice. So what I'm going to do, I will flatten immediately. I'm going to use my rolling pin. Alors same also, what you need to understand is techniques is very important, but the way how to use the utensil. So this rolling pin, what we learn is to, as you can see, you put your shoulder in the front and then you try to press. So by doing that, you won't harm your back, you know. All right, if it's a bit sticky, you can use a double piece of parchment paper. All right, and then, or you can even just put flour, then it works. Okay. So I make my dough as thin as possible. Alors if it's for tartlet, I will recommend around 2 millimeter. And if you want to make a big tart, around 2.5. And this dough can be used for tart and for tartlet. All right, hey, let's go. So, and this is a very good exercise. Alright, the leftover you can always put back, trim a bit, fill up. Okay, and to make it look better. And then we continue to laminate. Alright, and they flatten using diagonal. That means by doing that, we know our dough will be very flat. What I can do is remove the first layer. Okay, I can trim to make it look better. All right, and then I'm going to keep approximately 15 minutes in the chiller. And you give a little rest. This dough, or you can use also for tomorrow. Why not? Once it's in the chiller, we had no problem. Chef life, I will say maximum 2 days in the chiller. All right, so once this one is done, I take my tray and then I will keep in the chiller. All right, so once we have made the dough, after 15 minutes, I'm going to remove this dough and then we're going to prepare our tartlet shell. So it's going to be, this tartlet will be a little ring of 6 centimeter, and I will use a cutter of 10 cm. I will cut this dough and then I will do the line out. Okay, I'm going to show you. Alright, so I had prepared some in advance just for you to see. So as you can see, we had our little ring, and the stainless steel ring. This stainless steel ring I had put a little bit, I coat with butter. Alright, and then I had my cutter of 10 centimeter. Alright, so I'm going to take the dough, the sablé dough. Alright, remove the pepper, and then I'm going to cut into 10 centimeter. As you can see, my dough now, after 15 minutes, it's not that soft, but it's hard enough to make this little tartlet. It's the same. You need to go a little bit fast, I will say, because this dough has a lot of butter, and when it's too hot, your butter gets soft, and then it becomes more difficult. Okay, so what you have to do, you see, I will turn over, remove. Then I will take this little discs of sugar dough. Okay, and then I will just pour on the top. So the remaining you can always use for the next day. What I mean is you can combine again together, flatten, of course keep in with clean film, and then keep in a chiller. Alright, so once I had the dough, I will really put this dough into the bottom of the little ring. Okay, so this is what we learn in basic, and this is base. First we learn how to make different type of dough. Once we have made the dough, different method. After that we learn how to do the line out. Alright, so what you really need to understand is I want to have a nice 90-degree angle. So we take the edge of the dough, and then this is the ring. So we had butter, and then I will bring down very gentle, or you have to go gently also. If you are too rough, you're going to break the dough. And then you really bring this little dough at the edge of the ring. So let me show you. Just now it was 3/4. Now my finger, you see, will, and this is for you to understand. By doing that, I really go down, and then with the tips of my finger, I really press, and then we'll have, when I reach this part, that means the tartlet will be okay. Alright, that's it. So when this one is done, I will show you another one. So you see, I very gently bring down the dough. With my thumbs, I'm going to stick it on the ring, and then that's it. So this is basic level, and basic is very important, and because this is the rules, I will say rules and regulation. Once you got your basic, then you can move on the second step, and our second step will be the intermediate. Alright, so when this one is done, okay, then you can see it really fit nicely. So I'm going to use my office knife, and then I will remove the excess to obtain something similar. Okay, so see, adjust. Alright, so I show you again. Have a look. Slanted your knife, and then remove the excess. So you see, you just go this way. So by doing that, we'll have a very clean shell. Alright, so you hold with the knife, slanted, and then you cut. See? And then you turn. Alright, half turn, and then do it one more time. All right, so the leftover you can keep for the next day. So this one you can always put back in the chiller, and then we can remake any tart. And you can combine, for example. Last one. All right, so you hold knife, and it's very easy. This is the way, and this is what you're gonna have to do after that later on in our class. All right. Okay, so when this one is done, then remove the unnecessary dough, and then now we're gonna put in the oven. Alors sometimes some dough you can make a little hole, okay, but I know this recipe not necessary. Alors why do we do hole? Sometimes we do little hole is for the if let's say you mix your dough too much, you're gonna add more oxygen and your dough will start to puff out. So that's why by making little hole, the dough won't puff out. Okay, oven. So I'm gonna bake for approximately 10 to 12 minutes at 180 degrees. And after that, let's go to second step. Okay, let's put in the oven. All right, so let's continue. Once we have prepared our little tartlet shell, now we'll proceed for the recipe that we call feuilletine, chocolate feuilletine. So this chocolate feuilletine we're gonna put at the bottom of the tartlet. This feuilletine is made of chocolate milk, praline paste, and feuilletine. So feuilletine is a crispy waffle. If you don't have, you can always replace. Sometimes we use cornflakes. So let's start first. I had prepared what we call a water bath. In French, we'll call bain-marie. So simmering water, I mix in a bowl, and then I'm gonna melt my chocolate milk. So so recipe and 60 grams of chocolate milk. All right. And then I'm gonna stir. Now what you need to understand when you start to melt chocolate milk or any dark chocolate, make sure your water is not boiling, and it should be just slightly simmering, let's say around 65 degrees. Or it takes a few minutes. I think our tarts are ready. Let's have a look. I'm gonna have a look, and then once they are ready, I'm gonna remove from the oven. Okay. All right. Perfect. Look at that. They are so nice. Okay. So when this one is ready, be careful, it's hot. I will reserve on the side, and after that, we will remove the ring. Then I'm going to put this little feuilletine at the base, and then I will finish with the chocolate cream and a little quenelle. All right? Okay. Let's go back to my chocolate. All right. Now the chocolate should be totally melted, and as you can see, I'm using this bain-marie, and this is a French word. Is to avoid to burn the chocolate, because if you put on the gas, very easy to burn. And if it's burned, but you cannot use, you have to start again. So when this one is done, okay, then I will add the pastry praline. Okay, alors what is a pastry praline or praline paste? Is made of sugar, a caramel sugar, and almond that has been blended for at least 5 minutes, usually 5 to 15 minutes. If you don't have this one, we can sometimes we'll use in Malaysia we always use the peanut butter, something similar with a little bit salt. All right, so I add into my mixture. Then I'm gonna continue to stir. The chocolate normally is exactly at 40 45 degrees. All right, so okay, we mix together until it become very fluid. All right, and then after that, remove from the water. Okay, and then add the feuilletine. So like I was telling just now, no feuilletine. You can always just put crushed cornflakes. It works. The taste not so nice, but it still works. Okay. And then you mix. So the chocolate will coat this feuilletine, and after that, what's going to happen is that at the bottom of this little tartlet, we'll have this little what we call a crunchy layer. That will be very nice, and especially kids. It's a little bit sweet, but I will just put like 3 millimeter on it, just a little bit, just nice. So once we heat everything together, we can feel this crispiness. Okay, so when this one is done, I will ask you to keep on the side, reserve on the side, cover with the cling film. All right, and then that's it. All right, so let's continue. Now we'll proceed with the chocolate milk chantilly. So this chocolate milk chantilly, we're gonna use a chocolate milk from 40.5%. Different type of brand. I will say it shouldn't be too sweet. It should be normally in 40.5%. So let's start with the chocolate, 160 grams. I will gonna use a mixing bowl. After that, we're gonna add cream, liquid cream, 240 grams. So this cream I will bring to boiling stage. Then after that, I'm gonna pour over the chocolate. So 240 grams of cream. Let's start. And then during this time, I will have 1 gram of gelatin and 5 grams of water. So I'm gonna mix gelatin and water together. Okay, let it set a little bit, and then once the gelatin has absorbed the water, I'm going to put into the boiling cream. Now this recipe already, this is a intermediate level already. It's a little bit more complicated than a normal Chantilly cream. So, okay. Little spoon. All right. Alors, gelatin, normally we always let it set 30 minutes before. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep in a chiller, and then I'm going to pour into the boiling cream. All right. So as you can see, the cream start simmering already. So what I want is the cream boiled to the center. I'm going to use my whisk to gently mix everywhere. But what's important, make sure the cream really boils. Okay, so let's start. When the cream starts to boil, don't forget to add the gelatin. That's why I use the whisk. So the whisk will really mix nicely my gelatin. So I take the gelatin that is in the chiller, the one I just put just now. Okay. So you can see gelatin is set. All right. Allez, let's put the gelatin in, then we stir. All right, the cream is boiling. Immediately we pour on the chocolate. All right, shake a little bit, and then I will ask you what we do normally. You will wait a little bit. Normally I wait for 1 minute. So what's going to happen, as you can see, the cream is very hot. So during this time, the chocolate will start to melt. And once the chocolate starts to melt, I'm going to stir. Don't mix too fast. If you mix too fast, sometimes cream may split. So I'm going to use my spatula. Okay. You can see everything is getting mixed together. And then, allez, let's go mix with the Marys. So this chocolate chantilly, to have a better, to make it better, what I recommend is a minimum of 2 hours before you make your tartlet. So you can start with the chocolate chantilly, keep in the chiller, and then only after that, when it has cooled down, then only you're gonna whip. All right? Okay, and then you mix nicely until you had no different type. Everything has been mixed smoothly. Okay, clear nicely with the Marys on the side of your mixing bowl. Okay, and then after that, when everything is smooth, wow, smells very good, nice chocolate milk. Alors, the particularity of this chocolate, 40.5, is that means it's not too sweet. We had a mixture of dark chocolate and more chocolate milk. So, definitely this is what you're going to learn also when you join the school. We also learn about chocolate. Chocolate, we call it chocolate couverture. Most of our product comes from France, most of it. And we use all premium quality product with big brand. All right. Okay. So once this mixture has cooled down, then I'm going to cling film and keep in the chiller. And after that, at the end, you will see only at the end, I'm going to whip, and then I will make nice quenelle or nice scoop of Chantilly cream. All right, so waiting now for our Chantilly chocolate milk cream. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove the little ring. So it's very easy. You see, you take our tartlet, then just have to remove the ring. Okay, so once you had the tartlet, you can see we had a very nice 90 angle tartlet. So I'm going to put on the tray. Okay, so let's remove. And then after that, what I will do is that this tartlet, remember just now our chocolate feuilletine, I will add a thin layer of 3 millimeter. So I'm going to take this feuilletine, chocolate feuilletine. I'm going to put a teaspoon. Don't put too, if you like it more, you can always put more, but normally we just put a little spoon. My chocolate is still warm, so it's perfect. It shouldn't be cold. If it's cold, the chocolate will be set. And then at that time, I had difficulty to cover the tartlet. All right, allez, let's go. So a teaspoon. Once you had, let's say, in industry, once we make a lot, then in that case, we are using the, what we call the piping bag. And then with the piping bag, let's go and pipe. It's faster. Now it's just a little recipe, so I use the teaspoon. Okay. After that, with the back of the teaspoon, I'm going to flatten this feuilletine everywhere. Okay. So 1, 2. And it's very fast. You see, up, up, up. That's it. And it's very easy process. Okay. And my third recipe, or fourth recipe, normally it's the third step, will be the chocolate ganache. Now this chocolate ganache, I'm going to cover this little tartlet with the chocolate ganache. And this chocolate ganache will be based on a 70%, very, I will say, slightly bitter and acidic chocolate, because this mixture is sweet. So once we'll add this dark chocolate ganache on the top, and we're going to have a mixture of sweet and a bit sour, a bit bitter, you know. A nice combination. All right, allez, that's it. Okay, so this one is done. Let's continue. So we'll proceed now with the chocolate ganache. I will need a saucepan. I will need a whisk. I will need a mixing bowl. I'm going to add cream. The cream will be 150 grams, so I'm going to, same process, almost similar like just now. I'm going to boil the cream. I'm gonna add this what we call cocoa butter, 22 grams. So this cocoa butter you can chop if you want. It works to make it faster. Or if not, I will let it very gentle by itself. And then when this cocoa butter melt, I'm going to put the cream. After that, in my mixing bowl, I'm going to add the chocolate. Alors we had 60 grams of chocolate, dark chocolate, 70%. Okay. After that, the rest of the recipe, we're going to have inverted sugar, 38 grams. So this inverted sugar will go after the cream. Alors what is inverted sugar? Inverted sugar usually is it's like honey usually, except that it has been modified by human, but it's like honey. That means the sugar do not really crystallize. So sometimes we'll add this type of sugar to give a better, what we call smoothness. And the texture of sweet also will be much more better, much more stronger, but not that sweet. So if you want to remake, let's say you don't have this inverted sugar, then in that case just use honey. It will work exactly the same. All right, okay, so it will take approximately 2-3 minutes. Piping bag, alors same also, all this piping bag, this one is very basic, how to use. So what we do, we always, you see, open the piping bag, put the hand inside. Okay, and then once my ganache is ready, I'm going to pour inside, close it, and then pipe on the top. We'll finish this little tartlet. So we almost finished with this one. After that, a little decoration, and then you will see this is my favorite part, the time, you know, the time to eat, to taste. All right. Okay, let's continue. You can see my cocoa butter has melted. Okay, so at this stage, once it has been totally melted, I'm gonna add the cream, and then I'm gonna boil the cream until boiling stage. After that, I'm gonna, exactly like just now, I'm gonna cover my dark chocolate, wait for a little bit, for a while, for 1 or 2 minutes, and then at this stage, I will mix immediately. Okay, step 1, melted butter. Step 2, the cream. And mix together. Okay, so small recipe is always important that you put everything, especially for the cream. And it's important because this is the liquid. If not enough liquid, then we may have a problem to realize this ganache. After that, we continue with the inverted sugar. All right. And the same also, make sure you add everything. And then bring to boiling stage everything. So you mix. And then when it starts to boil, all right. And immediately cover your chocolate. Okay. And then let it rest for 1 minute. So make sure you put all the cream inside. All right. And then I wait for 1 minute. So why do we do this technique? It's very important. And the cream, is very hot. So normally it should be exactly 80 degrees. And then at 80 degrees, then you can start to mix to have a very smooth ganache. We can use also what we call a hand blender. Also it works to create an emulsion. So you will have a very shiny ganache. Okay, or make it simple. This one is basic. It's a basic recipe, so no problem. Allez, I just wait a little bit more, and then after that, I will pour the ganache. Okay. And then we start to mix. All right, so you can see everything. Yes, the chocolate has been melted. Okay. All right, so at this stage then you have to mix very fast. Don't be too slow. Be energetic. We can see the chocolate start to combine nicely with the cream. All right. Okay, and then clear nicely. See, I turn the mixing bowl. Have a look. Okay. Alors, I have to mix fast, hein? If not, I really need to combine the cream together. And then when I got the right temperature, you will see the cream will be totally smooth and shining. Okay. Okay. Alors you can see on this one, the chocolate is 70%, a nice reddish color. All right, perfect. So immediately don't waste time when the ganache is still warm, then I'm going to do the piping on the spot. Take the scraper, scrape nicely. Okay, I had a smooth cream. Piping back, open it. Use your scraper and then put the ganache into the scraper. See, have a look. You see, same, very important. Then you put, all right, and the ganache is very shining. So usually scraper, my finger is slightly below, so I clean everything, and then that's it. All right. Allez, after that, bring down everything, close nicely, and then I'm going to cut the tips and immediately start to pipe into my tartlet shell. So let's cut. Alors, don't cut too big. And then we do the piping. So transfer the tray. I will start in the middle. Okay, and then you pipe. You go ahead. And then immediately flatten it. All right. And I'll show you. Anyway, I'm going to make 8. So okay, and then after that, what you can do is flatten a bit. I can see my cream is getting slightly thick, so this is the time that I have to really go fast. Okay, now we have a nice chocolate color. And what's important, make sure also you had a nice little dome. Don't make it. And the ganache should be slightly thick, you see. We had a little dome slightly over the tart. All right, allez, up. So now when this one is done, when we have a little tartlet, you can serve also while it's still warm, but it may be a bit, the best is let it set for a few minutes, let it cool down at room temperature, and then after that, now I will do the quenelle of my chocolate milk chantilly. All right, so let's go back to the mixer, and then I will whip the chantilly, and then I will do nice scoop. Okay, all right, so once my chocolate have set, you can see we had very shining, smooth chocolate, so I'm gonna use a little golden board, and then we will just put the tartlet on it. Okay, so once I have displayed all these chocolate tartlet, now we'll proceed to the final stage, our Chantilly cream. So remember just now, the Chantilly cream with the chocolate milk. So what I'm going to do, I will whip for 2 minutes until I had a nice smooth texture, and then after that I will make a nice quenelle that I'm going to display on the top. What you can do also, sometimes you can, I have made special decoration, so I'm going to put a little decoration of chocolate, so you will see it looks much more better. Alright, so I had prepared this one, some little chocolate decoration. So this chocolate decoration, I will stick it on the top of our tartlet, and then inside we're going to add our quenelle of chocolate milk. Well, this is optional. You can also just leave it like that, and then straight away put the quenelle on the top of our ganache. All right, allez, let's go. And then after that, I will take my cream. So the cream I put back. I keep only 5 minutes in the chiller. All right. I'm having warm water. And then I'm going to scrape. I like making ice cream. Right. And then you put on the top. All right. So clean it again. You take the quenelle and then you squeeze. Okay, after that, okay, then little decoration. So what we're going to do, little gold leaf for the fancy look. That's real gold leaf. So be careful, don't hit too much, it's a bit heavy. Alright, voila. We had our little chocolate tartlet. Et voila, we had our chocolate tart with crispy feuilletine, our dark chocolate ganache, and our Chantilly cream. Yummy! My favorite part. Alright.